Hey, everybody, welcome. We are live on the Cyber Thunder Broadcast Network. Cyber Thunder's Tuesday Night Thunder presented by Down and Out Paint Shop. Round two of the Scrambler series. And it's the crapshoot, right? It's the big unknown. Here we are at Talladega. 75 laps tonight. We will eliminate one driver. We had three miss the race last week. So this week we only have one driver on the chopping block. So if you haven't been with us before, the way that works is our current, shoot, I didn't even count them. 8, 9, 9. Yeah, I had to do math in my head. Sorry, wrong button. Yeah, the current 9 playoff drivers. We will go down to 8 after tonight. Let me get this tower up. So those drivers that still qualify are in that light blue on the timing tower. Looks like we've got 24 trucks out here tonight. Pretty sure I counted. All 9 of the playoff drivers are out here tonight, so we are going to have one eliminated. One of these drivers will be eliminated. But yeah, the way that works is you just have to finish ahead of the last guy of that group. Don't be the last guy of that group. Here, let's put it that way. The last guy will get eliminated. 8 will move on. The lowest finishing of that 9, he could finish ninth. And if the other 8 finish ahead of him, you is going home. Championship chase is over. Man, yeah. Tonight, Talladega, we're up to 25 trucks. 75 laps. Should be a lot of fun. I was watching some practice earlier. Let's see if we got any big grooves out there. These guys were able to get 3 wide and hold it for a while. Just look like we're just running, 2-car tandems right at the moment. Not a lot of guys on track. I think they're still in their driver's meeting. Yep, still in their driver's meeting. So as soon as they get done, we should get more out on track. Yeah, once again, the guys you see in blue on the left. Gary Bowman, Andy Cork, Chris Harefield, Kyle Nadeau, Paul Turner, Larry Brunner, Scott Clemens Baker, Jerry Isaacs, William Kern. I don't know if I didn't count. Those are your playoff guys. Let's see. Yeah. Those blue. That's your playoff drivers. Those are your scrambler drivers. We will eliminate the 1 this week. And then next week it will be 2. The following week it will be 2. And that will put us to 4. And when we come to our championship race, those 4 will battle it out to decide who will be the champ. And next week is Watkins Glen, so that's also, the series director here, man, we go Talladega, Watkins Glen, Bristol. Holy cow. So those 3 weeks, and then we finish up at Charlotte. But those 3 weeks, man, anything can happen. I am happy to say, if you guys joined us all week last week, oh, I've got him on screen, that 32 truck. Chris is back. Yay, I don't have to do all the broadcast. Not that I won't be here for all of them. But the guy that's better at this can be out here directing the show. There's a pretty good group. Kind of like this camera tonight. When we've got a big group, we may see this camera a lot. This one gets a little noisier, moves around a little bit more. That one's pretty decent. We got some pretty cool cameras, actually. We're going to see that group coming at us. Shake the camera if they get close enough. If they don't. Here they come down the back stretch. Turn 3. See that slower truck there to the inside. They come through 3 and 4. Coming out at 4. See them coming through there. And we got the start finish cam. We can see. And look at that one. Photo finish. Wow. Yeah, I'm not going to use that one. Telling you guys, tonight could be anybody's race. It's all about the draft. I'm hearing 18 to 20 laps or a 75 lap race, depending on caution. You may not need to take tires. It's just get in, draft, and get out. We have seen, I don't want to broadcast or curse it here. Kyle Nadeau will yell at me if it happens, but we have seen quite a bit lately that when we're under green flag stops, we get a caution. Like, a lot. If you watched the Wheels for Warriors Pro Cup race last week, it happened twice. 2 times. Single race. You know, we got to the point of green flag stops. I believe Kyle and Cody Richardson both got caught both times. Maybe Gary Bowman as well. So hopefully we don't see any of that tonight. Oh, excuse me. Or hopefully we do. Eh, I'm not racing. Makes it more fun. So we got Kyle and Jerry out there. Chris Harefield. See Gary Bowman there. See right behind him, you got Larry. Trying to find your playoff drivers. William Kern is still in the pits. It looks like everybody's kind of jumping in the pits now. I wonder if everybody decided it's time to practice that pit stop. Maybe they were listening to the broadcast. Again, not a lot of trucks on track. Everybody's going to the bathroom, filling up their soda. Some of them are probably getting a adult beverage. See Eric Anderson there, coming up on Memorial Day. He's got his USA truck, rocking the stars and stripes. That's a good looking truck. I like it, America. Hey, I will say, check out Down and Out Paint Shop on Facebook. All your iRacing paint needs. Get you a nice sprint car. Get you a Lotus. Go get a Pro Light jumpy truck. Go give Robert some shout outs for doing this for us. And if you haven't yet, our Thursday night sponsor, Wheels for Warriors, we are currently raising money for them. Wheels for Warriors USA. Those guys help veterans get on motorcycles, help them get back into society, help with that PTSD. We like to play a small part in helping them accomplish that mission. Every season we try to raise money for Wheels for Warriors, so talk to your favorite driver. They can donate through Cyber to help that number go larger, or check out wheelsforwarriorsusa.com. Just donate straight to them. It's a worthy cause. Not much better you can do than help our veterans out. Did we just lose everybody? Oh, there we go. shout outs for man, I see in the chat saying no sound. Everything checks out on my end. La la la, test, test, test. Kyle just got wrecked by Jerry. Jerry decided to turn it into donuts. See what Paul's doing here. Paul has always got some trick shots up his sleeve. Oh, Kyle's going to go for one. Oh, they got it too late. Going to qualifying. All right. So qualifying here. I don't, sometimes it's the first lap, sometimes it's the second lap. It's all about being smooth. Run the wall on your out lap. Drive it downhill. Run that bottom line on your fast lap. Hopefully you put it up front. I'm not very good at qualifying at super speedways. Maybe I don't hold a steady enough wheel. I'm not sure. I used to think races like this I'd want to qualify in the back and just kind of ride around. But now I've learned I'd rather be up front. So that way when the mess happens in the middle of the pack, I can be in front of it. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. Let's look. Who's the first out? We're looking at Kyle right now. It looks like Chris was really excited to get out on the track. I think he is the first truck that's going to put in a time. Still on his out lap, so we'll see if he cuts it to the bottom here in the tri-oval. Or if he stays out there one more lap. Stay out there to the start finish and cut it down into one. Oh, still out there. Everybody's pretty much on track right now. Gary Bowman out running up high. Garrett just coming out. Kendon, well, right in the middle. Ray up high. See, William Kern's got to be at the bottom. This dude's aggressive all the time. He's going to be at the bottom. Larry. Alan looks like our lone in-car driver tonight. Alan running up high. Let's look back in on Kyle. This track is super long, 2.5 miles. It'll go by pretty quick though. See these guys get it wound up and in the draft. Let's see. Oh, Jerry Isaacs throws up a time. I don't know what he's doing now. Having a good time, Jerry. That's the wall. He didn't like his second lap, I guess. Not sure. Eric Anderson out here. USA. America. Took the petty blue off the truck. It wasn't working out for him. You can see, I mean, there's 2 100ths separate first and second currently. Chris Wold jumps up to second there, or third, I'm sorry, third. Eric's down on the apron coming through this tri-oval. Trying to get every bit of it he can. Looks like his first lap was his fast lap. Chris Harefield jumps up there. 1/1000th separates second and third. Yeah, Matt, hopefully it's a shorter race than iRacing Super Speedway as well. Ooh. Or the time can last as long as we're not so many cautions. How's that? Just a better race than what we saw last week at iRacing Super Speedway. Who do we still got on track? Someone to watch tonight. Oh, as I go to him, he's off in the grass. Garrett out here. Looks like he's done. In-car driver Allen. Paul is going backwards. So these are the only two guys on track. Got Allen in his Woody Mobile, and well, what's Paul doing here? There's something wrong with Paul's truck. Oh, it disappeared. All right. The boring stuff is over. Let's get to a decent camera. There we go. Starting on the pole, Eric Anderson in the USA truck. I think that's kind of fitting. Put him up front. Outside pole, one of your playoff drivers, Chris Harefield. Jerry Isaacs right there, another playoff driver or scrambler driver. He's starting in third. Garrett Johnson fourth. Chris Wold in fifth. Joey Signs sixth. Crank Bell in seventh. William Kern eighth. Gary Bowman in ninth. Kyle Nadeau in 10th. Larry Brunner 11th. Ed Jurgen in 12th. I'm not on the stuff so I can switch it. I think I know by now. There we are. Alan Ayers 13th. Ken Cook 14th. Andy Cork 15th. Ray Richer. Scott Clemens Baker in 17th. Paul Turner 18th. 19th. Judd Danielson 20th. Mike Donahue 21st. Brian Dorsey 22nd. Reed Wyman 23rd. Dave Gainforth 24th. Matt Kopp rounding out the field. Just had to move it up one guy. Steven Music starting in 25th. So 25 trucks going to roll off here at Talladega. $75 laps of bump drafting goodness. Just waiting on one guy to grid, it looks like. Then we can get going. Maybe. I'm just playing with cameras. There we go. Looks like everybody's on track now. Starting to roll away. It's going to be a long pace lap. It's actually 2.65 miles, if I remember correctly. Yeah, yep, 2.65, so a little over 2.5 miles. These guys do it in 50 seconds. It's pretty fast. 50 seconds, inches apart. Trucks sound really, really quiet right now. There you go. You can hear them now. The inside line looks pretty strong. Shoot, that outside line looks pretty strong. You always go 3-4 trucks back just to see how well they can form up. That's what's going to make a line strong or not. That 51 truck's one to watch. We always see him up front at super speedways. We'll see, is it aggressive early? Or is it just right around till it's go time? I'd like to see 25 trucks right there at the end, but we'll see what happens. We'll find out together. Well, I thought we'd see those trucks. There they go. There goes that pace truck. Barney's got the flag ready, but man, it's so far away. Let's just go back to here. There, now they're coming into view. I really wanted to use this camera. Gives you a good view of all the trucks. Back of the field's kind of spread out. They're off. See trucks wiggling. They're trying to push already. Looks to me like that inside line is just a little better formed up. They've got 5 trucks versus the 4 on the outside. I would think, you know, coming down that back stretch, that should give them a better run. You see guys jumping to the bottom. Jerry's getting a really, really good push on Eric. The key here, don't push the pusher. See Chris kind of pulling up to Jerry. Yeah, that pushes Eric out coming through 3 and 4. The thing about Talladega, though, it's not Daytona. That start-finish is not right in the middle of the tri-oval about here, and there is a bump on that bottom line, by the way. You just see those trucks kind of wobble through it. That'll get you loose later, but that start-finish isn't until later. So you can get that surprise run on that top line through that tri-oval. Everybody seems to be playing nice so far. All the way back here, Larry, Gary. I think they're just kind of taking it easy. Get back here to Andy. Look at these guys. Oh, you see Scott blinking. Don't do that, Scott. All the way back to Mr. Paul Turner. These guys back here are just riding around, trying to be patient. Let these guys up front be aggressive. Waiting for that big one to happen. These guys don't get a fast repair in this series. So you wreck this truck and you can't draft. You know, you get damaged, you have a really, really hard time being effective in the draft. Your truck needs to be nice and pretty. That's what those guys in the back are doing. They're just waiting for these guys up here to mess it up. Let's watch. Chris is going to jump down to that bottom line. So that outside line got the run to get Chris to the front. We can look at these speeds here. I mean, these guys are bumper to bumper at 183 miles an hour through the middle of the turn. Eric, is he going to look to the inside? Is he going to lift and let Chris have it? See, he lifted there a little bit. I mean, to be going that fast, that close to someone, you got to be crazy to do it. Now, can Joey push Garrett out there? We saw that top line work. There you go. You can see it from here. See that run that top line got. Garrett didn't take it. That bottom line's coming back. I think through the middle of the turn, that bottom line will get the run, but out of the turn, you can see Crank pulling up. It just different runs. That's what these guys are doing right now as well. They're figuring out who their partners are, who's a good pusher, you know, where you'll get the runs, where it's effective, what you should do. It's all a learning process. I mean, yes, we've all raced these kind of tracks a ton of times, but still every race has a different feel to it. Every race has a different flow to it. You have to get out there and kind of learn it, figure it out. Take the temperature, if you will. 5 laps in. Chris Harefield's out front. Eric Anderson, strong truck. Eric qualified on the pole, sitting there in second place. Second on the inside row. I say that as Garrett Johnson gets that really good push from Joey Sainz. Joey's one of those guys. I mean, Joey's up 4 spots. It's hard to quantify spots here. They change so fast when they're side by side. I think we've got Chris out front now. It's still showing. Oh, there it goes. It goes to Chris now. So it flops back and forth. They're side by side. Joey's getting a really, really good run this time again. I think Garrett likes the way Joey pushes. He's just going to sit up there in that top line. As I say that, he abandons him and goes to the bottom. Now Joey's going to lead that top line. Get that good run. See if William can push Joey out front. As I say that, timing and scoring shows Joey is out front. Somebody must have disappeared there. We lost the camera. Yeah, look at that run that top line's getting. So there's something. I mean, these guys are learning this right now, and Joey does the same thing. Jumps to that bottom. Kind of shocked. Maybe you're just trying to ride around right now. That's why they're all getting to the bottom, but, I mean, it's the third person we've seen. Oh, Chris is like, I've seen too much of this. These guys are getting too crazy. See him dropping back. That's why he's on that inside. These guys got to give him room. You don't give him room to get in, you don't have to. But he tries to force his way in. That's going to be a mess. He jumps all the way to the back. So at one point, Chris was leading. Now I'm showing him 17th. Got up there, learned some stuff. Said, okay, I've had enough of that. Feels like they're being too aggressive. He's got a championship to go win. Right now, William Kern going to the front. See that high side working again. And again, that guy on the high side just abandons that line. It gets them to the front, and then they drop to the bottom. I don't know about you guys, but it seems to me like the high side's a place to be. I mean, 18 to 20 laps on a fuel run. Say 18 if you're leading the line. We're only 8 laps in. Shoot, stay up there on the high side. Make some friends. Crank will do it. Crank will sit up here and let Gary push him for a while. He's not going to the bottom. He sees what's fast. See Ed Jurgen out there behind his teammate Gary Bowman. These guys are going to make this high line work. Crank's just kind of running the middle. He's not diving to that bottom. Saw that high line break up. He went to the bottom. Oh, these guys are, you got to pick a line, pick a line. That's where that give and take comes in. Ed had to let out to let Gary back in line. That could have been very, very messy. Look back here like mid-pack. Look at these guys. See Jerry Isaacs, Chris Wold, Kyle Nadeau all there on the inside, just probably riding around. See Chris Haverfield working his way back up. Wonder if he went to the back and wanted to see how fast he could work his way back up to the front. These guys are getting crazy up front. I'm going to have to jump back up front. Frank did drop to the bottom. Look at that huge run that top line gets. Holy jeez. I don't know about you guys, but I'm learning that for later in the race. That top line is able to just get a giant, giant run. What are these guys doing? Crank's dropping out. Crank said I had enough of this nonsense. See where he jumps back in line. Kyle's going to let him back in. So right now, your two front runners for your championship. Right at the moment, Gary Bowman up there and William Kern side by side. See Gary getting that really good push from his teammate. Ed's a sucker though, Gary. Watch out. Yeah, you got Gary Bowman and William Kern. Now he's showing in 4th. And then 7th, you got Andy Cork, Chris Harefield right there in 8th. Oh, let's see. Jerry Isaacs. Saw some stuff pop up. Jerry Isaacs, Larry. I don't know if we went to Larry or not. Jerry. Kyle Nadeau. Guys, I mean, they're way off. Like, these guys are on the back stretch. The leaders are going through the tri-oval. So that's not good for the guy who led most of your regular season points. Scott Clemens Baker, I don't know what happened to make him lose that much of the draft, but these guys have lost the draft terribly. I mean, these guys are going through the trioval right now. The pack is in 1 and 2. Let's change this to see if we can see last lap times. Yeah, I mean, Scott is almost a second slower than the guys up front. And these guys are mixing it up here, so we're just going to stay right here. But yeah, Scott Clemens Baker is, I mean, he's got to hope for a caution at this point. Maybe that's part of his strategy. Maybe he dropped to the back, that far back, expecting a caution. Didn't want to get caught up in it, just wants to survive this race. But man, we've seen these go green before. We've seen it happen. I've seen it happen. I've been in them. Especially we get to that first pit stop, and everybody gets broke up. You know, it's not one big group anymore. It can happen. Uh-oh, it looks like the division director, Matt Shantosh, jumped in here. Matt, you want to be on TV today?
Well, I figured we've gone all season without it. We might as well try it for one night.
Yeah. Oh, look, everybody just signed off. Nobody's watching now.
No, we didn't have them to begin with.
So what do you think you're seeing out here, Matt? Why are these guys abandoning that top line? I can't figure it out.
Just to me, it's just a force of habit. Everybody tries to gravitate to that inside, thinking it's going to hold up, but that high line, for some reason, you're just getting such a run with it, being able to contend with that side draft. And I would stay personally, like you were saying, on the high side, but at the same time, you get out there and lead a lot of these laps, your fuel mileage is going way down compared to the guys who are just riding in behind you.
Yeah, also, this front six have broken away from the pack a bit. Wonder if that backpack felt like it was just getting too aggressive, maybe? Everybody else is single file. This front six is side by side. I can't see the side by side being faster, but odd race so far.
Yeah, for sure. Not our typical Talladega race by any means, but we'll take it so far.
Yeah, and I'm sure you heard me say, I've seen it, you've seen it, where we go green the whole way. These guys get through this first round of pit stops, which I think are coming up here in the next 3-4 laps. But these guys get through this first round of pit stop clean and green. We could see a green flag race the whole way. And Scott Clemens Baker, who led most of the regular season points, Matt, is, I mean, shoot, he's a half a lap back now.
Yeah, I tried going back through to find what had happened to them. It just looks like they kind of lost the draft. And you and I both know, once you lose that draft, you're praying for that caution to come out.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, that's the only thing that's going to help him. If we go clean and green, I mean, there's nothing he can do. It doesn't matter how good of a driver he is, how fast his truck is, you're not catching the group. Surprised to see two lines here forming. You know those green flag stops are coming. I'm surprised to see Crank trying to jump up to the outside.
Right. And I'm shocked about that too, because, I mean, his two teammates were right there with a hole for him that he could have squeezed right down in. Three of them get on pit road together and leave together. That's your best options.
Maybe a little testing for later. I don't know. Look, he just made it all the way. He's going to the front with no help.
Yeah, that outside lane it's crazy. I don't understand it, but hey, he's found something that we never knew, I guess.
Yeah, he just went all the way through and led that lap with no help. Now he's going to need it to get by Gary, and you see some coming, but iRacing broke something. Oh, Paul's going to take it to the outside. Three wide right before green flag pit stops. Ugh.
Yeah, they're all going to want to get down in that single file lane. I mean, we've seen guys be in that third lane and think they're going to pit with everyone else, and then disaster happens.
They'll wait until Kyle Nadeau's in the pits before they make disaster happen.
He has the worst luck when it comes to pit stops.
He does. Though here, I don't think it would be that bad. You get caught, you won't go a lap down. Let them wreck while you're in the pits, and then everybody else that didn't pit has to pit, and you already got your tires in their strike position. That's my theory. So 18 laps. I heard 18 to 20 laps. You know, we haven't seen anybody just sit up here and lead all these laps, so I think all these guys are, you know, probably one lap away, if not some coming this lap. You probably want to stretch it 20, 40, 60. It doesn't matter at this point.
And we got our first one calling out. We got 92 calling out, the 08 calling out for pits. So this is
So,
going to get interesting.
yeah, that's your second and third place truck. See how many people come with them. So Crank stays out. Looks like just those two. And they got into pit lane pretty good. But man, that mixed up the pack. Everybody needs to settle it back down, get back single file, because you know they got to come this next lap.
For sure. I mean, you could try to stretch it to 20, but you'd have to be doing a lot of fuel saving. It sounds like everybody's coming this time.
Oh, this is gonna get crazy.
So really, that might have worked out for Gary and Ed, being the only two to come down. They don't have to contend with all this hassle of trying to get in and get out.
Yeah. See if we can get a good one. No. Here we go. They're coming. Looks like Jerry, Chris, and Kyle stayed out.
Wow.
But look at that. Holy jeez. Looks like
They
everybody
all
made
make
it.
it on.
Holy cow. Now getting to your box without wrecking is a whole nother story when you're 2 and 3 wide. Andy Cork disappearing there in the middle of his pit stops. Looks like, holy, dude, I got to applaud these guys, Matt. That was great.
Yeah. I mean, we stressed to them in our drivers' meetings that, when you get on pit road, make sure you try to stay as far right as possible. But sometimes that's just not the case. And these guys did it pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, you go in side by side. There's not a lot you can do. You can't just turn to the right and wreck the guy on the outside, or you don't want to slow down and lose a bunch of spots. Crank had a really good stop, going to get out here all by himself. He's going to want to slow down and let these guys catch up. Get back to Jerry. You see Jerry, Kyle, and Chris coming in now by themselves. So we'll have to see where Gary and Ed, where this shakes out.
Gary and Ed are coming out, looks like second and third right behind Crank, and they've got the run. So
Yeah, they're passing Crank right now. See if Crank can maybe catch them. They're passing him going to 3 and 4. Yeah, Crank's too far by himself. Yeah, those guys maybe. I don't know if 2 trucks can do it. I don't know if Crank maybe caught onto it. Chris, Jerry, and Kyle are just now leaving the pits. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think Gary and Ed. I mean, they just passed the other 3, the last 3 to pit. We've got 3 trucks in this second group. That broke it up, Matt. So that's going to give us a really good shot at, a green flag race here. We've got groups of 3 and 4. We'll see if these groups can get together. Looks like, okay, so the group with Crank and Paul are catching that front 2. So we're going to have a group of 5. And you got Jerry, Kyle. Yeah, looks like they're all going to catch back up here in a couple laps, I think.
yeah, watching this group with, like you said, with Jerry, Kyle, Chris, they got Joey in there with him too.
Now, if this front 5 stays single file, though, I don't know that they'll be able to catch them. There's a pretty decent gap.
They're going to have to do a lot of work of staying nose to tail and trying to get everybody to cooperate.
Yeah. So Gary and Ed came first. And you had Crank, Paul, and Jarrett in that next group. And then 6th, 7th, and 8th came in the final group. See, this is what these guys don't want to do. They don't want to get side by side. You don't want to slow this group down and let that group behind catch. I see smoke. Wonder if we had somebody speeding or something. I see the 57 going down pit lane. I wonder if he's serving a penalty. Start watching this gap. So currently, Matt, we're 3.5 seconds from Jerry to Ed. We'll see. We'll just keep an eye on it and see if that shrinks or if it gets bigger or what. Looks like it's going down quite a bit, pretty quick. I mean, they just made up 2/10 on the back stretch. Yeah, this group back here, there's a lot more trucks. 8 trucks versus 5. These guys all have to stay nose to tail, single file. Play nice. And we're down to, I mean, they've made up 4/10 in a lap. It seems like the gap's kind of stabilizing now. Chris there in the second place of that group, peeking out to get some air on the front end. Yeah, it looks like the back half of this group isn't as locked up as the front half of that group.
No, Crank is doing everything he can to push Ed without spinning on the lot.
Yeah, that gap's kind of stabilized though. We're 3.2 seconds from Ed to Jerry. So what they're doing is working. I mean, they just stay like that. If that second group can't make up the time, these are your playing partners. These are the guys that you're going to have to hang out with. And Ed's going to jump out of line.
I think Crank gave him a wrong push. Tried to get to the middle of his bumper and just caught the outside of it a little bit.
Them doing this leapfrog will slow them down. Also, if Ed drops off a little bit and they start to sniff his draft, that second group, that'll pull him up to him. Oh, through the grass. Crank catches it. No damage, but that's definitely going to bring that second group into play. Crank got it going back up. That second group's going to be able to pull that draft. Paul Turner now leads that first group. Jerry's down to 2.5 seconds back, so that second group is coming. Gonna jump back here. Matt can't see the broadcast, but I'm gonna jump back and see if I can't see what happened to Crank there. Paul just a little bit too much of a push in the tri-oval. Got Crank a little loose. Great save by Crank though. Right back live, yeah. So Crank has dropped back to 1.92 seconds behind that first group, and this second group has caught him. So they're coming. We're gonna have a group of 10 here shortly. 11, 12. We'll have a group of 12. I did the math all by myself, Matt.
Chris told me you couldn't do math. I'm not trying to start anything, but that's just what he was saying.
Yeah, he doesn't want anybody to do math on the broadcast to make him look bad. He was only born with 4 toes, so when he goes to count, he's only got 4 toes on each foot, so that throws him off.
He's got that garden gnome syndrome.
Yep. Oh yeah, they're definitely catching him now. Crank is leading that second group, and he can see Ed. I mean, we're down under a second, so we officially have a group of, are we going all the way back to 12, I think. Yeah. Yep, they have caught him. So that advantage they got by pitting early is now gone. Makes you wonder, do these guys learn? Do they want to be the first group that comes in this time? Joey signs to the outside there. He wants to get back up front. Nope. Gonna get back in line. Just calm down, Joey. It's not time yet, buddy. Man, lap 28 already, Matt.
Yeah, she's flying by. I'm not gonna argue it. I'm not gonna want to jinx it. But this is the one race that I wish I was out there for.
Talladega, huh? You've got the race I want to race is the final race of the season. I love these trucks at Charlotte.
You had to remind me, Rick, 'cause I didn't even remember what I put on.
It's Charlotte, and the reason I love it is because you start out and you feel like Superman, man. It sticks everywhere. 10 laps in, if you haven't been taking care of your tires, you're just sliding all over the place. I think Paul kind of shuffled himself up to the outside there, wanted to get back in line, save some fuel.
Yeah, Paul Turner, he's one of those drivers though. He'll never qualify. Just rides his time in the back and just tries to see how quick he can get up to the front, and then he'll just slide back and stay out of sight until about 3 or 4 to go.
Yeah, Matt. If you look ahead of this group, right on, I mean, they're catching them. Scott Clemens Baker, currently the bottom guy in our Scrambler series. He's the last place so far. Right now, lost that draft early. He's getting ready to go a lap down.
Yeah, and God, right now he needs a caution. As much as we don't want to see one, he needs something just to reset himself and get back up there.
Yeah, that's the drama, and that's the unfortunate part of this Scrambler series is, I mean, he pretty much led the points 90% of the regular season, and here he is, second race of the Scrambler series. If he doesn't get help, he going home. See the second group back here. Who's leading that group? A 95. Kind of looks like he might have damage on his. He does. I wonder if they know that. So we've got a second group. They're just now getting to the backstretch. If you look at the front of that 95, he's got damage, and that's who's leading that group. You don't want the guy with the hurt truck out front, guys. So if anybody can hear me on the broadcast,
yeah.
past the 95.
Yeah, that hood is bowed up.
Yeah, he must have got into the back of somebody.
Acting like a sail.
Yep. Must have got into the back of somebody coming to pit lane. It's just, that's no bueno. Back up front. Look at Dave Gainforth running that high line. Getting pushed by William Kern. Dave said, I'm going to the front. Dave held that top line long enough for his pusher to get down in the bottom with him. So here we are, 14 laps into this run-ish. So from where Gary and Ed Jurgen pit, they're 14 laps coming to 15 laps into this run. So I imagine we'll see these. It seems like they just pit, Matt. Seems like it was a long time before the first pit. But we're 2-3 laps away from the second. I gotta imagine that's gonna break it up more too.
Yeah, I mean, if that lead group stays together, they all pit together and get off together. But that second group, man, I'd be trying at least one lap before them just to do something. So by the time they come out, you can mesh right back in with them.
Yeah, and they've still got the 95 out front back here. So nobody's getting the message. Nobody's watching the broadcast and racing at the same time.
Oh, it looks like we missed a little incident back on lap 20 between the 94 and the 57. That's what happened to Ray, why Ray was coming down pit road.
20, huh? I'm going back. I'm looking. Yeah, I just got everybody pitting on that lap. Nothing pulled up for me.
Yeah, 94 just gave him a push in the wrong spot, it looks like, but Ray kept it going and didn't bring out a caution, so.
Here back up front. Joey Signs getting a push from Crank Bell. They're trying to go around that outside. I'm telling you, I think that's the winning move tonight if we have a pack, is it's got to be that top lane. From what we've seen so far, I'll be surprised if that bottom lane can hold it and get the win. All right, so Gary and Ed are on lap 17. Lap 17, so they're going to pit soon. If you can get 20 laps out now, so 20 would be 55, and then 20 more would be 75. So you've got to push this one a little further.
Yeah, and I think with those two, even though they pitted a lap before everybody, now that they're just kind of tucked in, you can moderate your fuel. You don't have to run it wide open to keep pace in this group, so they should be all right to pit when everybody else comes in.
Got a little 3-wide action going on out here. Joey stuck in the middle. Keep jumping back to that second group. That 95 is still leading. That second group is now 13, almost 14 seconds back from the leader.
Yeah, they have got to get him shuffled out.
Yeah, I think they're in the same position as, Scott and Reed back here, or up here because they're right in front of our leaders. But I think they're in that same position of they need a caution. They've dropped back far enough. 13 seconds is a huge gap to overcome in a place like this. See, you can see right along with Dave Gainforth. He can see these two guys. That's Scott Clemens Baker and Reed Wyman up there going into the turn. Dave in the Bubble Yum truck. I think it's Bubble Yum. Some kind of bubble gum. Mr. Bubble, that's what it is. He can see him in his windshield.
We got a good number of this front group calling out pit stops.
See Ed, Gary, Scott, Reed came in right then, right when they were about to get past.
That second group's all coming in as well right now too, trying to underpit them, and hopefully they can blend back in a little bit.
So we'll see what that does to this front group. I've noticed Chris Wold, Kyle Nadeau, Jerry Isaacs, they all three pit together and are still nose to tail. So we'll see if those three come in together this time. Look back in on these guys. Ed and Gary's leaving right now. See Eric Anderson just came in. So you got Dave Gainforth going this time. Looks like William Kern. So it looks like Jerry, Chris, Kyle, Crank, Joey stayed out. Paul Turner and Larry need to get single file here. They're going to lose that group being side by side. There you go. Paul got in line. Jumping back up. See if these guys see Corey in the chat saying, let's go 97. Number one, Corey, why aren't you out here racing? Number two, Kyle's scared to pit, Corey. You know what happens when Kyle pits. Are these guys going to try to pit? Oh, no. I was wondering if they were trying to get around Stephen Hine, but you see Crank Bell, Larry, Joey Signs. So there's a group of 4 that comes in. Paul Turner.
Yeah, 3 of those long shot guys. They don't really venture too far from each other.
And you see once again, Jerry Isaac, Chris Wold, Kyle Nadeau staying together. Those 3 are out here. I expect to see them this next lap. They're 20 laps into their run. See how this shakes out. I want to say we've got guys laps down now because of this. These guys are catching Alan Ayers in that group that, was 13 seconds back. So they're getting a really good pull from this group, but is it going to slow them up trying to get into the pits? Here they come this time. You can tell they're working together. One's inside, one's the middle, and one's the outside.
Yeah, they're all in the same room. You know they're calling out, all right, I'm going inside. I'll stay out to the line. I'll take the middle. And 9 times out of 10, it works out perfect, but you get that one time where somebody slips.
Yeah, Kyle's on pit lane, so it's time for a caution, Corey says. Watch these guys. So William Kern, there you see William Kern's the first one that has pit. That's what I'm showing on my timing and scoring. Where's Crank? So Crank's coming up behind him with Gary Bowman, Ed Jurgen. William must have had a really good pit stop, 8.9 seconds. I wonder if he got enough fuel in 8.9 seconds. It doesn't seem like it.
Not at all.
Yeah, Jerry. Yeah, Jerry, Chris, and Kyle are kind of broke apart here. So that group is passing them now. Crank is going by Kyle. And that's a stronger group than it was last time. So these guys are going to have a hard time hanging on to this group. So it looks like that is going to put Crank Bell out front. Looks like we're going to have 6 trucks in this lead pack, I think. Yeah, all the way back to Joey. So we've got Crank Bell, Gary Bowman, Ed Jurgen, Garrett Johnson, Paul Turner, and Joey Signs in that first group. Then you got William Kern kind of by himself. He got out there, too fast, whatever he did, 8.9 seconds. Everybody else was like 11 and a half. So he's catching the back of that group, which may allow Jerry, Chris Wold, and Kyle Nadeau. Not sure if they can catch that draft or not. We'll have to see if they can catch or not. They're right on the cusp of losing that main pack. That main pack stays single file. They're kind of spread out. You guys need to tighten it up there. Tell you what, though, man, we're well over halfway. 34 laps to go. And they've just been driving around being good boys. I'm impressed.
Where was this at the beginning of the season?
We had 20 more trucks. Oh, now we're 4 wide. As soon as I said that. Oh,
here we go.
Yeah. I mean, they're putting guys a lap down. Scott is going a lap down. Larry's going a lap down. Oh, so that's a battle right there. I told you Scott was going to need help. So Scott and Larry are fighting for that position, for that last cutoff spot. And here they are both going a lap down right now. So there's a battle within the battle. Those guys, currently, it's got to be either the 81 or the 44 going home tonight. That's going to allow Jerry and Chris and all those guys to get caught back up to this group as well. So what do you do there, Matt? So you're in Scott's position. You're going to catch onto the back of this group, but you know that 44 is the truck you have to pass. But at the same time, these guys are fighting for a win. Do you get up there and mix it up?
Yeah, knowing that, you are the lap down, but you have that guy in there, at this point, I would just tack on to the end of that line, ride with them, because you got another pit stop coming at least for a splash. And then at that point, yeah, they're racing for a win, but how much do you want to keep going in the playoffs?
Yeah, I agree. I'm racing for a championship. I don't care about your win. You know what I mean? That's
for sure.
I'm trying to get a trophy.
Like right now at this point in the race, it does him no good to get up there and battle him and try to stay in front of him. You're just risking getting caught in a wreck, or it's not going to do him any good to get up there at this point. He needs to stay nose right up to that last guy in line, and after that last pit stop, just go for it. See what your truck's got, and without wrecking his race or anybody else's race, do what you got to do to get up through there.
It looks like I just caught it. It's hard to jump back to Scott. So yeah, Scott jumped onto the end of that. I was trying to find his name on my list, looking through the middle, but I guess he's at the bottom here. So yeah, he's doing exactly that. He's just kind of hanging out at the back of this pack. Got Crank Bell up here up front. These guys are kind of spread out, just kind of taking it easy. You can tell it's the middle run of the race. There's no reason for any one of these guys to push right now. All they're trying to do is get to the next pit stop, get in and get out clean, and then it's time to go. Let's look back at this second pack, I think. Yeah, 12th place, Eric Anderson. So at least they've got a truck in that second pack that's leading, that's in good shape. Andy Cork there. Andy is in 11th. I'll tell you what, these guys are 18 seconds back. They got to have a caution. Matt, if you want to slip and hit that button and just throw that yellow out, I won't tell.
Yeah, make for a good race at the end, but that's my only fear becoming the admin is just making sure you click the right buttons and not throwing that caution when it doesn't need to be, because you'll never hear the end of it.
Yeah, these guys have earned the right to race it out so far. You know what I mean? That would suck to mess it up for this top. What have we got? Top 11, top 10, right here in this front group that have got on and off pit road with help, stayed up the front, stayed with the front pack, and then to bring the second half of the field into it because you hit the wrong button. Yep, you'd be getting some hate mail. Somebody's opening a ticket. That's why when I'm setting it up here doing the broadcast, I hide all those buttons. And these guys are making this boring. It's the way I like it. You know what? I'm going to run through the top 10 here real quick. Haven't been able to do it all night. If I can find my button. There it is, Mr. Crank Bell and the T-Rex Express. Up here really trying to get this truck championship. Oh, he got eliminated last week because he missed it. I forgot. So Crank is up here trying to show these guys they're lucky he's out. Crank's leading the way. Gary Bowman, he's the first of your chase drivers. Gary, last season, regular season points champ. This season, regular season points champ. Trying to find his way through the Scrambler Series. Gary's got a good look at it so far. He's the first one of our playoff drivers. Setting in third place, his teammate in the sucker truck. He tries to tell me it's bubble wrap. I don't believe it. I think Ed's a sucker. Ed Jurgen. Fourth place, you got Garrett Johnson out there. I don't see any of his teammates around him, but Garrett's been strong all night and up front, so somebody's going to work with him. Then you got Crank's teammate, Paul Turner, Mr. Sneaky, fastest chicken in the South, I hear. Does Paul even live in the South? I think he lives in California. That's not even the South. But
Yeah, he just says it. I think he was born in the South and he ventured his way out to the West. So.
He's the fastest chicken in the West. Anyways, Paul Turner sitting in fifth. Their teammate, Joey Sainz. Now that guy lives in the South. He's sitting in sixth. William Kern, another one of your playoff drivers, right there in seventh. You've got a couple right there. Jerry Isaacs right behind him in eighth. Chris Wold had to get knocked out of the playoffs because he decided to sit on a boat last week. I think I'd have rather been on the boat than out here racing. And then rounding out your top 10, front row Kyle Nadeau. And that is all your lead lap cars in this front group. You see the 73 right there, Reed Wyman. The 81 is Scott Clemens Baker, and the 44 up here in like the fourth or fifth spot. Let's see, where is Larry? It's up in the fourth spot in line. All three of those trucks are a lap down. And Larry and Scott, white and blue truck. And then the attorney in Texas, give him a call. Those two are fighting for the last spot in our playoffs, in our Scrambler Series. So this is going to be interesting to see when we get through this last round of pit stops. All right, so 25 to go. Coming to 25 to go this time. These guys are, the two that have pit first are 13 laps into their run. Five more laps. Yeah, so put them right at 20. They got to go 7 laps. We're 25 to go. Oh, gosh, dang, I can't do. See, this is why we can't do math. I only got 4 toes as well, Matt. I don't know what to do. Oh, Gary got a really good run there. I thought he was going to hit Crank. You got to think if you're Chris, Jerry, and Kyle. Oh, my dogs are going crazy. But I got to think if you're those guys, they've seen all night that the first group to pit is the one that gets out first. You got to try to undercut this.
Yeah, they can't go 1 lap extra on the stop. They either have to go with them, or like you said, they got to go in. Try to time it where they go in 1 before them. But if they stay out 1 more, then they don't have a shot. I don't think.
Yeah, I think they've gotten lucky these first 2 stops and been able to catch on to that group, catch back up to that front group, the people that pit first. I think this time you've got to be the one to make the call. You want to be, you want to be the one that forces action, not the one that reacts to action. Crank up here. So Crank's 13 laps into this run and has led a lot of laps. I think you got to get to, you want to at least get to 19 to go, I would think, before you pit. So Crank needs 4 more laps. That'll put him at 18. Yeah, I think Craig's in good shape. It's about to get real interesting. Because after that last pit stop, it's go time. There's no more riding around. It's get up front, get with your friends, try to separate, try to get a win. And again, for Scott and Larry, it's time to get in front of the other, regardless of whatever else is going on around you. Back here at Scott. Is Scott losing his pack? No, he's just riding around. So I'm looking. So it's Crank, and then you got 2 teammates, the lap down truck, the guy by himself, and then one of Crank's teammates. We'll have to see how this plays out. Coming to 21 to go this time by.
We got our first one called out. 43, that second group sounds like they're going to try to undercut it.
And Eric Anderson has been leading that second group. You see, they're side by side back here. I think some of them may be coming this time, some of them may not. Oh no, it's the 12 that's been leading that group actually. Yeah, you got the 43 and the 12 are the only 2 of that group coming in. They both got into pit lane. Looks pretty clean there. Back up front. I'm telling you, if I'm in this front group, I'm telling my guys I'm working with, as soon as we know we can make it from here, that's when we're pitting. Same time, do you run it as far as you can and take less fuel than everybody? There is too much strategy. I don't know, Matt. Somebody tell me
Right.
what to do.
You want to have enough in the tank if you have that green-white checkered. Guys making sure everybody knows and check your tires. Have that windshield tear off unchecked.
So I'm looking the 40 and 3 and the 12 who just pit came out together. They look like they're pretty good, but these leaders are going to catch them here real soon. 2 trucks versus 10 trucks. Those leaders are going to catch them. So they need these leaders to pit. They don't want to get caught a lap down. That 12
Yep.
truck
We
is.
got the 08 and 92 have called out.
These guys have been the first to pit every time. They come off here. You see Ed going. You see Gary going. Doesn't look like anybody else is coming with them. They both get into pit lane pretty well. Larry's going to try to get his lap back the hard way here. Does get in front of Crank. That's pretty aggressive by Garrett there. Crank's got 2 teammates right behind him. So if things stay the way they have been, then you're going to see the 14 and the 9 and the 4 come this lap, as I said. And once again, that 51, the 32, and the 97 are still out. Oh, Crank came in hot. Locked him up there. We'll see. We'll see if he made it through there.
Just looking back here, the 81 had lost that group. He was quite a ways back. He's just coming on pit road now.
Yeah, I think he's in trouble. Looking back at this last group to pit, they're all on the bottom line. See Chris Harefield going a lap down too. So a lot of our playoff drivers are just having trouble without any yellow flags. These guys aren't coming this time either. So they're trying to stay out and see if they can put some distance. See if they can take less fuel on their last stop. Less time in the pits.
They'll be lucky if they can run back in just where they need to have a shot at it.
Let's see. Crank's out with his teammates. The 3 of them are together and good. Ed and Gary are a little bit behind them. Garrett Johnson just coming off the pits right now. Got the 15.
They're staying out another lap.
Yeah, these guys are crazy. They've been saving fuel. I'm telling you, Matt. They're trying to take a little bit or the least amount of time on pit lane as they can for this last stop. So they're staying out as long as they can, so they don't have to take as much fuel as everybody else. So they can be on pit lane less time. This time, they're coming this time. Once again, we see them working together. Jerry on the outside, Chris on the inside, Kyle in the middle. Oh, Jerry got sideways. Oh, he saved it. Wonder if he got it woed up enough. So we see these guys coming down pit lane. Paul Turner is the next, and he's going down the back stretch. See how this blends out. So Paul's coming into 3. These guys are just now stopping in their box. Paul Crank and Joey Signs.
Oh, Jerry got tires. I
He's
think
coming out though.
they all got, yeah.
Right
I think they
sides.
all took right sides.
I'm looking. These guys are coming out now. They're going to get past. That group's about to come right by them. You can see them there on your screen. So yeah, they're going to need some help to catch that last group. Or that front group. You've got 5 trucks versus 3. Jerry's out, but I don't know if he's out quick enough to catch onto the back of that draft. Garrett Johnson and William Kern right there. Those guys could play spoilers to this long shot 1, 2, 3. $15 to go. Paul Turner out front. Got two teammates right behind him. All right, so I got to look back here. So you see Larry there. He's riding around with Ed and Gary. Scott's back here with Reed, just kind of all by themselves. I don't know if Scott's had damage. I don't know what's going on with his truck, why he's struggling so bad tonight. As we sit right now, Scott Clemens Baker will be eliminated from the Scrambler Series. So I'm looking
Jerry
at
and these two are actually catching that group.
that's what I was just going to say. They're about a second and a half back. When you get to 1.2, you start feeling that draft. You'll start pulling up, but they're at 1.3 now. Yeah, they're going to catch. Jerry should start feeling the effects. Yeah, he can definitely get that draft from William Kern. So they're going to catch up. We're going to have a battle here. $13 to go. Yeah, Jerry's, I mean, you can see it on your screen right there. Jerry's there. That second group is caught up. So we are going to have an 8-truck battle going to the finish here. Wouldn't expect a move yet. I think you just hang back, sit in line. You know you caught him.
Yeah, don't show your hand too early.
Can't say it enough, Matt. These guys have done a phenomenal job.
I'm proud of them. It'll keeps up like this. It'll make my night a little bit easier.
Paul getting shuffled out. Wonder if he needed to jump out of line just to save a little fuel to make sure he made it to the end. Puts Crank Bell to the lead. $11 to go. Got your front 8 all here in a pack. Let's look. Where is Ed and Gary? I mean, they're just now going into the turn where Crank is on the back stretch. So they lost that front pack. You get back here to this group with Andy Cork, Eric Anderson. They are, I mean, they're way behind. They may catch Ed and Gary, actually. It's going to come down to these top 8. We got 3 teammates, 3 guys that have been playing teammates, and 2, I don't know. I don't know what those other 2 guys are going to do.
It's definitely going to be an interesting one. Looks like Jerry, Chris, and Kyle are going to take that outside.
I don't think that's a bad idea. You know, I mean, position yourself up there now. You've seen it be fast already. Go ahead and get it established. That's where you want to be, and just hang out there. Paul came up, tried to block that run. They stick him in the sucker hole. He's going to get back down in line. You do need that side draft to help get you up there. Now, I saw in practice they were trying to run the top line and it didn't seem to work, but that middle line, that middle lane, I guess I should say. 9 to go. All of a sudden the volume got cranked up. All of a sudden the intensity said, whoop, it's time to go, guys. Jerry Isaacs leading that outside line. Chris Wold pushing him. Kyle Nadeau right there with him. Crank Bell on the inside with his teammate Joey Signs all over his bumper. Paul Turner right behind them. Jerry's pushed to the front. That top line showing its speed, showing its strength. Paul's going to jump up into that top line. He's going to leave his two teammates on the bottom. Paul's going to go up the middle. He's going to try to disturb that top line. Yep. He's going to leave Kyle Nadeau out there. Jerry drops to the bottom. That's exactly what it did. Paul jumped into that middle and that messed that top line all up. Eight to go. Got Jerry Isaacs. Oh, big push from Crank. Jerry Isaacs leading the inside. Chris Wold leaving the outside line. Kyle Nadeau getting pushed up into that third line, dropped him all the way to the back of this pack. Seven to go. This time by Jerry leads that lap. Tell you what, Crank, I've raced around Crank a bunch. Man, he can push like nobody's business. That's the guy I want on my bumper if I'm up front. Still, that top line's just getting that run. See if Chris stays in that top line, he gets clear. Or is he going to get down and try to get with Jerry, who he's worked with all night? Not quite clear yet. Jerry's going to jump up and try to get in front of Chris. Paul thought about making it 3 lanes. Paul's going to go back to the middle. Let Kyle to get to his outside. We're going to be 3 wide back here for 5th. I think those 3 on that outside line were talking to each other and said, hey, let's get back hooked up. Yep, Paul's back down. Now we'll see when that top line gets formed up and gets that run if that 15 doesn't jump up and try to get around these 2 teammates. Paul Turner is going to jump back up there and sees that run coming. Oh, big push from Jerry. Paul got sideways, saved the truck. Didn't lose any spots, lost a little momentum. 6 to go. These guys are getting serious now. We're getting pushes from the 3rd truck, the 4th truck.
Now, with Paul up on the lead in that outside lane too, his teammate leading the inside lane, they can just, without being wrecked, they could. Oh, sounds like we got a wreck.
We got a caution on the track. Oh my goodness, I see smoke. The leaders are avoiding a truck. Oh, geez. Looks like everybody got around.
All right, I'm going to step away and see what we got.
All right, Matt's going to go do some work. Guys, that changes everything. I mean, everything just changed. We had, 21 trucks on the lead lap. Obviously, a couple of them, you see some smoke, you see some sideways trucks. We're going to go back and watch it here in a second. But, oh, geez, we're going to see a great finish from those 8 trucks. Now we're going to have 15, 16 trucks. Changes everything. All right, let's go back and watch it. I think everybody's got it avoided. Oh, we don't want that camera. Let's get to this one. Oh, wait. That happened pretty fast. Let's just rewind this. Try to We're going to go to this camera. Okay. Oh, so here we go. I get caught up a little bit more. All right, there we go. So we see two Abruzzi trucks on the inside at 95. Alan Ayers just tries to come down, thinks there's room, and there's not. I think those guys are teammates. I think they both got that Bully Dog Coffee Company. That puts the 95 back up into the 50, into the 29, and just bang, bang, bang. Oh, hard hits. And your leaders are coming when this is happening. I mean, your leaders are right here. They're about to come into screen.
Yeah, the 95 ended up taking the claim on that one.
Yeah, okay. All right, so let's see what's going on here. These guys are coming down pit lane. They're not coming down pit lane. Some of them are coming down pit lane. They about wrecked, faking each other out. Who did come down pit lane? So Garrett Johnson, William Kern. I think those two came down. The guys that were involved in the accident. Scott Clemens Baker is on pit lane. The back half of the field. So 7th on back. That's a terrible camera. All right, so 7th, 8th, yeah, Gary Bowman, Ed Jurgen. Might as well come down and get tires if you're in the back. I don't know that it's going to help you, but might as well. Now we see some beat up trucks. 3 to go. Is this going to put us to a green, white, checkered? I think it might. I think this will put us to overtime because we have lap down cars, I think. What do you think, Matt? What's your guess? I think it will.
I think we're going to go with green, white, checkered.
And for those of you, if you don't know, they get one shot at it. One shot at a green, white, checkered here. So, they take off and they can't go green all the way to the checker. The next flag will end the race. So we'll see if this goes into overtime. Crazy to have a caution. I mean, we got down to 5 to go, looking at an epic battle, and have a caution changes everything. Everything. Trying to look here. I still think Scott Clemens Baker is the odd man out. Now I'm showing him 2 laps down. Larry's on the lead lap. Scott is 2 laps down, so Scott's in trouble. Had a really, really good season. I mean, anything can happen, but if we go to a green, white, checkered here, it's pretty much done. All right, so it looks to me, let's go back to the back part of the pack here. So all the way to Larry, truck looks fine. Chris Harefield looks fine. Dorsey looks fine. Gainforth. So yeah, I think we're gonna have 18 undamaged trucks. Steven Music, I guess, would be the last one. Steven looks fine. Yeah, 18 undamaged trucks back here. Getting ready to battle it out. Yeah, so I think this is a green, white, checkered, right? Overtime? Do you have the stuff to see it?
Yes, it is. It just popped up. We are
Okay.
going green, white, checkered.
All right, so this is our one attempt at a green, white, checkered. Like I said, these guys get one shot. So after we go green here, the next flag will end the race. End the race. Hopefully the division director reminds them that if there's a caution to ride it out until the race is official. Otherwise, it'll mess everything up. Good luck with that. Yeah, these guys are going to go green, and then they bend it in turn 1. Race is over. Hopefully, we'll get to see them go 3 laps here. Green flag lap, white flag lap, checkered. So. I guess that's only really 2 laps, isn't it? 3 flags, 2 laps. All right, this is going to get crazy. This is where we've seen that top line work. You got Joey Signs starting there on the outside of his teammate. You've got Jerry and Kyle who've been working together all night there on the top line. Chris Wold right on the inside of them. So we'll see if if Crank gets a good run and Joey tries to get to the bottom, or if Crank doesn't get a good run and Joey tries to get in front of him. If Chris tries to get up, then you look at William Kern right behind him. I mean, he has no allegiance to any of these guys, so he's going to try to jump 3 wide. He doesn't care. He wants to get up to the front and win. Gary Bowman right behind him. It's going to get fun.
At this point, teammates, no teammates, if you have a chance, I'd just be going for that win.
Yeah, especially, I mean, these guys got to be able to look down and see that Scott's 2 laps down, so they know they're good.
Right.
Here we go. Crank leads them into the Geico restart zone. Oh, Crank held it all the way to the end, too. Paul's right on his bumper. That bottom line's way more formed up than that top line is. Top's getting a run, though.
Just a reminder, though, in this series, all starts and restarts are on iRacing Green, so we don't have that restart zone.
Oh, well, then Crank just waited until the flag flew. I've probably been calling that wrong all season. Man, that bottom line's got a really good run. Yeah, Paul is right on Crank's bumper. This is about where you start to see that top line come in, though. 3 and 4 on a restart. They start getting momentum. Yep, and you can see Joey getting up beside his teammates. Jerry's pushing him. Down the front stretch, they should be pretty even at the start-finish here. Out of the tri-oval, and then if they get to the back stretch here, that's where you'll really see that top lane take advantage of this momentum.
Crank has damage on the rear end of his truck. On the right rear, she's all scuffed up and pushed up in, so...
Oh, yeah, she is. Paul's just an aggressive pusher. That's what it is. All right, so this is where we're going to see the real big run, I think. You can see that 9 truck. That bottom line's getting mixed up. The 15's going to the middle. That's going to hurt that bottom line's momentum. Joey's currently out front. Jerry's going to go take it to the outside. Kyle Nadeau goes with him.
Oh, we got the 12
spinners in the back. Crank Bell, Joey Signs, Paul Turner. Oh, they're wrecking again.
Oh. Looks like Paul Turner.
Paul Turner gets it done. The fastest chicken in the South. Oh, man, that was nuts. I'm showing Paul Turner, Chris Fold, and then Crank Bell. What are you seeing?
That's what I have on the iRacing results, so...
Well, that's what we're going to roll with. Let me go find those guys. All right, we got him. We caught up with your winner, Paul Turner, the fastest chicken in the West. You're in California, man. You're not the fastest chicken in the South anymore. But
that's where Stroke Race is from.
Holy cow! Talk us through that green, white, checkered, Paul. That was nuts.
That was crazy, wasn't it? Sure was fun though.
Now you were there with your teammates. And Joey was on the outside. You were right behind Crank. How'd you find your way to the front? What happened there?
Just towards the end. I mean, going forward at the end, and I hated leaving Crank there. But number 1 here at Talladega and Cyber, and I wanted to get that win. And saw Joey lift up on the outside. I don't know what happened out there. And then that gave me my chance to kind of go for it.
What'd you think when that caution came out with, what were we, 5 laps to go? I mean, you guys were setting up for 8 cars to have a battle, 3 teammates, 3 pseudo teammates, and 2 kind of floaters. Were you glad to see that caution, or did you not want it?
I didn't want to see it. I just wanted to see us finish 1, 2, 3. I figured we could do it. But it was what it was, and so caution came out. I had enough fuel. I had to save a little bit, and then went for it at the end.
Well,
But
Paul,
I was up front when I was up front there. I actually dropped back because I was afraid I was gonna run out of fuel. So that's why I ended up dropping back.
gotcha. Yeah, that's what it looked like. I think a couple of you guys, both teammates, I think Crank did that once too, kind of drop back just to save a little fuel. But you guys
Yep.
played, I mean, you guys had a perfect strategy all night, stuck together all night. Dude, it was fun to watch you. I mean, it's always fun to watch you at these restrictor plates. I've been out there trying to push you, and you always just find your way to the front. So, congrats, Paul. Moving on to the next round of the Scrambler Series here. Hopefully, you can get a trophy next to your name, man. I'm going to turn it over to you and let you give your shout outs and thanks.
I'll leave it a blind squirrel finds a nut once in a while, right? Appreciate you Down and Out for sponsoring this. Thanks to everybody that's watching it. Thanks to Cyber Thunder for putting on this race. Thanks to our Cyber Thunder broadcast, you and Chris. I know Chris was racing tonight, but I think you do a great job too. I always appreciate running with all my buddies here at Longshot, and thanks for watching.
Awesome. Well, hey, Paul, congrats. Going to kick you out. We're off next week. Maybe we'll talk to you at the road course after.
Appreciate it.
All right, get Paul out of here. Matt, you still here?
I am. You go ahead with the interviews. I'm doing the results stuff.
Oh, well, we'll let this guy do most of the talking. He's better at it than I am. Chris, looks like you guys had a really good strategy. You, Jerry, and Kyle there was going to come down to an 8-truck shootout, and then that caution comes out, man. Talk us through that green-white checkered.
Yeah, a little bummed out that the green white checkered had to come out because we think we might have had the fuel advantage there with the green. We were good to go full throttle the whole way. We didn't have to save, but under that green white checkered, as soon as we saw Longshot was geared up in the front 2 rows, and then William Kern a little bit back there, we kind of knew what the game plan was. So it was just me trapped on the inside lane, waiting for them to get a run, and then it looked like Joey might have had a little bit of damage from some pit road incident. And so as soon as I saw the gap there, split up and just kind of went in between Crank and Paul to play spoiler to a little long shot 1-2 finish.
It was there for a while. It looked like it was going to be 1, 2, 3 if you guys didn't do something about it. So
Yeah, it was. Jerry was very eager, and we had to calm him down on when to go. So, whole time though, it was more just helping Jerry and Kyle know where they were at with the Scrambler series. Since I missed last week's race being out in the middle of the ocean, but I'll continue to play spoiler the rest of the Scrambler series and let everybody know that hey, you're all lucky I missed a race.
hey, I mean, you and Crank both, right? Crank came home in third, so you guys were out there reminding him. Dude, you did a great job. That was fun to watch. I don't really want to talk anymore, so go ahead, Chris.
I appreciate it. It's good to be back up here second place. Mike, thanks for putting on Tuesday night here on the Cyber Thunder Broadcast Network. You do a great job in covering last week, all 3 nights here. But having a lot of fun here in the Down and Out Paint Shop Tuesday Night Thunder with the Cyber Thunder Racing League. And shout out to Kyle and Jerry. And then also we had Cody in the room helping us with our fuel strategy. So shout out to all them tonight here on this second place finish.
Wait, I got to ask Cody Meadows.
No. We didn't hit the wall.
Oh, okay,
so, no,
okay. That guy
Just
can't
kidding,
count.
Cody, if you're listening.
All right, Chris. Well, we're off next week, man, and then I think we go to a road course after that. How you feeling about that?
As long as I don't spin out into the pits like I did the last time I was in a truck at Watkins Glen, I feel pretty good.
Sweet. Well,
I have faith in you. You'll do it again.
I probably will. Just not lap 1 this time like last time.
Well, maybe we'll talk to you then. We know we'll hear from you tomorrow. So good job tonight, man. That was fun to watch.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, kick Chris out of here. We're gonna grab Mr. Crank Bell. Crank, you had to miss last week. I assume you were probably golfing or something to do with the golf course. But then you came out here with your teammates and reminded these guys they're lucky you're not in this Scrambler series.
Yeah, I got caught up with something at work last week. Wasn't able to make it, but I love Talladega. I always work well with my teammates here. Had a pretty good race.
Talk us through that green-white checkered, because I mean, I saw you guys. You were up front. Joey was on the outside. Paul was right behind you. What was the plan there?
We didn't really have a plan. We knew we were going to be able to control both the lines there on the restart. Had a pretty good chance for a 1-2-3 finish. I'm not sure. I know Jerry probably went to the outside. It looked like I was doing all I could to hold on to the truck with the way Paul was pushing, and I was on really old tires there. So I was trying to just pay attention to what was going on in front of me when I was there on the bottom. So whatever happened, happened. But I guess Joey got shuffled back a little bit. Paul took advantage of it. He's getting pretty good at passing teammates to take wins from him, isn't he?
Whatever it takes, right?
That's it.
I mean, he's still in the chase. I'm just saying.
Yeah. No, we never have any hard feelings about that. We joke about it. I think he took the one from Joey earlier, maybe for the season opener somewhere.
Yeah, Paul's pretty good at these things.
Yeah, he's actually been getting up and racing in them a little more instead of just riding around the back the whole time. So he's good.
Yeah. I always try to find him when I'm on track, man, and it was fun watching the three of you guys. I mean, your strategy was flawless. You guys were solid all night, so that was fun to watch. I mean, caution coming out, 5 to go. I know you were disappointed to see it, but dude, you came home third, so great freaking job.
Yeah, I'm not mad about it. In fact, I think this is my first podium of the season. Like I haven't been running well at all this season. Had bad luck. I've ran out of fuel on the last lap or the next to the last lap twice. And to be honest with you, I thought I was going to run out again tonight. If that caution hadn't come out, I was saving big time during the caution and sitting here. I've only got 1.4 laps left, so I'd have been in big trouble.
Yeah. Well, it worked out for you, man. Third place, can't complain. Frank, I'm going to turn the floor over to you. Let you give your shout outs.
Yeah, thanks to our sponsors, Down and Out Paints, for putting on the Tuesday Thunder series. Always appreciate them. All our sponsors for the league as a whole, Ellswick and Wheels for Warriors USA on Thursday nights. I appreciate my team at Longshot. They were fun to run with, worked together all night. Had some good strategies, worked out well. Had us up front at the end. Thanks to my sponsors, T-Rex Express, K-Bar and Grill, Colonial Riders, and my family for letting me jump on and do this a couple nights a week. Appreciate you putting the broadcast on, Mike. You're doing good stuff, getting better every week.
Yeah, it doesn't pay to tell lies up here, Crank. We know it's bad. It's okay.
Nah, you are. You're getting better all the time.
I appreciate
Appreciate you.
I appreciate you, man. Hey, we're off next week. Maybe we'll be talking to you in a couple weeks at Watkins Glen.
Sounds good.
All right, gonna kick Crank out of here. See if I can find my buttons, guys. We'll go through your finishing order here. There it is. Let's see. Oh, come on. What the what the heck? How did we get on? Is it not going to show us the top part? There it is. So we just talked to your top three. Paul Turner, Chris Rold, Crank Bell. Got Jerry Isaacs coming in fourth. Ed Jurgen finished fifth. Kyle Nadeau sixth. Brian Dorsey in seventh. Matt Kopp came home eighth. Gary Bowman ninth. Eric Anderson 10th. Larry, man, we saw Larry a lap down there. He was at risk of getting put out. Comes home 11th. Chris Harefield 12th. William Kern 13th. Garrett Johnson 14th. Andy Cork 15th. Dave Gainforth in 16th. Stephen Music 17th. Joey all the way back to 18th. Now let's see if we can get it to go. Alan Ayers 19th. Scott Clemens Baker. Correct me if I'm wrong. Matt, are you still in here? Matt may be going. I think Scott's the guy that got eliminated tonight. That's what it's looking like to me. But yeah, Scott is.
Yeah, Scott is our elimination for the night.
Got it. So there you go. You heard it from the division director. Scott Clemens Baker coming home in 20th. Had troubles all night. We're going to see his championship run come to an end. Reed Wyman 21st. Kendon Cook 22nd. Mike Donahue 23rd. Judd Danielson 24th. Ray Richer 25th. Oh, that's it. So rounded out with Ray at 25th. Guys, thanks for coming out. That was a lot of fun to watch. Like I said, we are off next week. We're going to take a little break for Memorial Day. We'll be back the following week with, I believe it's Watkins Glen. Am I correct on that, Matt?
I think so. I haven't even looked at the schedule. I look at it the night before and make the race.
Well, there you heard it from the division director. I'm pretty sure we go Watkins Glen next. So, guys, thanks for tuning in. Tune in tomorrow night. Chris will be back tomorrow and Thursday. I might pop in the booth and hang out with him. Have a good night.